Hey guys, I know I haven't made a video where I actually talk to you guys in a little bit, but that's because I didn't get back from my trip till about, 12 hours ago, roughly. Also, I've been really sick. I'm still a little sick, but I felt a lot better. Literally, I lost my voice. It was ridiculous. I don't think I've ever lost my voice before. So, yeah. Anyway, I wanted to talk about something I saw on my trip. I did not bring my camera. I'm sorry, guys. I should have. But it was this massive LARPing event. It was ridiculous. There was literally like 200 people there. Like, I don't LARP. I have nothing against people that do, but I had just seen this documentary. I think it was like Doran or something, and it was so weird that it would come up. Anyway, so there were these two sides, and they ended up going at it, and they were fighting over, like, the Temple of Light or something, and it was so bizarre, but they had crepes, and that's why we stopped. I love crepes. Anyway, back to the point about, to the whole concept. It's a really elaborate thing that these people do, that do it. There's so much time and effort put behind it that it's amazing. I mean, like, I was talking to people, and I just can barely talk even, I don't really have much of a voice, and I'm eating, crepes. I got a couple of them, I was hungry, and we were just talking about, what they were doing, because we were on our way back to the ferry to get back home, basically, they were just telling us how the time that they spent getting everything ready. I mean, it was like one of them had like a Roman type of shield, and it literally took them like 3.5 hours just to get like the design done correctly. They sewed it all themselves. They got the padding online. Their whole design was based off of a book character they had read, and I mean, it was just so elaborate. And the other thing is that there's so much inside trading stuff. It's such an inside your head game. It's just a bizarre reality that gets created. I mean, to the point where you don't even know what they're talking about. I mean, they're like talking about like everything ends in like Argos or something, or like old Greek terms. And it's a weird thing because you don't really know what they're talking about. Like there was like a tribe of elves, I guess, there, and they were talking in Elvish, and it was Elvis, and it was so weird. Now, what I'm talking about this, and of course the question comes up: what do I think about it? Would you ever do it? I would not, because that to me at least is like childhood stuff. You know what I mean? It's beating people, plus it's not really, like, if I was going to have a whole fantasy world, it'd be a lot more laid back than that, you know what I mean? I don't want to go beat people up with foam swords. I want to, like, relax and make out with somebody, you know what I mean? It's a weird reality that ends up getting created, because I don't think very many people, if they think of, what do you want to do today? Well, I'd like to sit around, drink, eat top ramen, and, just be happy, you know what I mean? I want to relax. I don't want to, spend 2 hours making a foam sword to go beat some other guy up with. You know what I mean? It's a weird reality that gets created, because it's a fantasy that they are creating, but it's not really what they want to be, you know what I mean? Or at least the people I talk to. It's like they want to get a better job. They want, a better house, and want to go to Hawaii, very mundane concerns in their real life. But then they're like, but I still want to beat somebody up with a foam sword. And I'm like, dude, why? You know what I mean? I don't have that desire, I guess. I don't sympathize with that. Having said that, do I think that the world they create is necessarily a negative thing on society? No, man. Nah. People do weird shit all the time. My sister reads People. People's a weird fucking magazine. Have you ever read it? Like, or any of those magazines. They're basically straight ads, man. I mean, I'm being honest with you. Or they're quizzes about, like, is your friend your real friend? How good are you at kissing and stuff? I mean, it's very kind of weak it's weak sauce. You know what I mean? It's not my stuff. Maybe somebody else's fantasy. But that's my point. It's LARPing's a way. It's a way people get stuff out. You know what I mean? For anybody that doesn't know, LARPing is live action role playing. I should have said that at the beginning. What else? Also, what's interesting about it is I think it's a way for people to get in touch with the character. You know, it's kind of like you grow up, you watch all these superhero, you know, stories and shit, and your life really doesn't reflect that. You know, it's kind of like, from what I got from it anyway, is that it's like you grew up watching maybe Superman, maybe Star Wars. And Star Wars is a classic hero's journey case, you know what I'm saying? I mean, literally, people use it as example, the template, you know. And, you know, nobody really blows up no Death Stars, you know what I mean? You know, everybody just kind of exists, you know, they just go to work, they have kids, you know what I mean? It's kind of, it's anathema to what the culture is to a certain extent. So there's a little disgruntled nature there, or I don't know, there's a conflict there. And how some people decide to solve this conflict is they say, okay, well, I will go become, you know, a Skywalker, or whatever hero's journey character you want to use. I'll go create an entire world so I can do that. You know, so that's kind of what they do. Now, why is it medieval? I don't fucking know. I think that has more to do with the fact that using guns doesn't. People like fighting with swords. It's more ingrained, I guess. I don't know. I don't really know. It's more skill based. So the more time you spend doing it, the better you are. Maybe that's why. That's actually an interesting concept. I'd have to think about that. Here I'm just asking myself questions. This is a pretty boring video. But yeah, I think that's kind of why, though, is because they have to create, they want to fulfill that hero's journey thing, that superhero thing. I mean, if you've ever been to, you know, any kind of convention, or if you ever talked to people even that play D&D, or, you know, people that play WoW, I mean, their character's very important to them. I mean, and it's not just like people that don't really have very much going on in their lives. I mean, you can find people that are, you know, successful and they still play, World of Warcraft, and they get sucked in. You know, they don't get sucked in, but, you know, it becomes kind of their life too. I don't know, everybody kind of needs escape though, you know. It's just a lot of effort in that one. What else about it? I think it's interesting, they were talking about, you know, old battles that they had, you know, and they talked about it with passion, you know. It's like, I remember when we fought on the hills of Mongoria, I'm butchering the names, but they all ended at Goria and stuff. And, you know, my fellow here, Noburu, and they always have weird names, you know, fought alongside me. In a way, every term that they used was very foreign, but it's like this was an actual battle to them, you know what I mean? It's like they were proud to tell this story. Meanwhile, you know, I'm eating a corn dog, you know, I don't know. It's just a weird experience, man. What else about it? One of my favorite things is, you know, they've got all this medieval shit going on, but, you know, they're around the campfire, like I was saying, right? You know, and I'm talking to them, and they're like halfway through, and Cthulhu, the great god of Norse mythology, you know, came down and rescued us, thank the gods, and would you like a bud, by the way? You know what I mean? Like, they just broke out some Budweiser. I mean, it's because that's really what it, you know, I don't know. It just broke character for a minute, you know. You want a drink? We've got Bud, we've got Bud Light, you know. I mean, it's kind of like that. I know, it's a weird world. I don't know what else to mention. Let me see how much time I got. I do not have my glasses. I left them in the shower, I think. But you don't need to know that, and that's probably a boring concept. What else about it? There's a lot of different elements to it. One of the most interesting concepts is they showed me a map of the world that they had, and it was totally dominated by like one tribe, and everybody was upset about it, and they were subjugated, and you know, it was like they're conquering our people, they're enslaving us and stuff, and they were all complaining about it. And it was like, dude, why in your fantasy world you're being subjugated? I mean, like, why do you create this? Not to be subjugated. It's like one of those things where it just seems, I don't know. It's just a weird dilemma. But they're very upset about it. But then again, I guess they can do something about it. It's not like they got to go, like if you got a parking fine, you got to pay it, or you got to call your congressman or something. You know, in this world, basically their big plan was they were going to form a couple alliances and just go beat the shit out of the other guys. You know, in a way, it really simplifies problems. You just need to get enough motherfuckers together, and then you can win. And they were, you know, I mean, all the strategies are about the same. In the battle that I saw, they basically just formed two lines, like two ranks, and then they charged at the other guys who formed two ranks. And yeah, they had a few bowmen, and they tried to use some primitive form of a slingshot. I mean, it was basically, you know, a water balloon slingshot, and it was very primitive in a sense, because, I mean, these people have all this time to do all this, and they're kind of just fighting like, I don't know. There doesn't seem to be very much tactic involved, or training, because all their shields were different sizes, you know, like, I mean, if you think about it, why didn't they all have the same shields? There's a lot of little things that you think of making this, you know, armor, wearing actual chainmail and shit. I mean, literally, these people spend money on chainmail. Tons of money. Do you know how much it costs to rent a chainmail suit, by the way? I found this out when I was there. It cost like $99 for a 2-day rental. That's like the best rate they had ever. And that was like through friends and shit, evidently. So, I mean, you understand what I'm saying, is this is an expensive thing. So, you think you're wearing chainmail, you know, you got this whole character backstory, you were born of the earth and shit. I mean, they come up with very elaborate backstories. Why don't they, you know, form a uniform military force, you know, like, I mean, you know what I'm saying, like, develop basic military tactics. Like, if you're going to go for the Roman thing, go for the Roman thing, you know what I mean? Get all the curved shields and shit and go for it. But no, they all their stuff's all padded and shit. That's the other thing, is everything's so padded, it's just a weird concept. I don't know. Anyway, I know I haven't given enough time, and I don't know enough to really describe what I'm talking about in full length. But I will say that if you got a chance to talk to somebody who, you know, LARPs, or know somebody that does, talk to them, man. I mean, it's a weird thing. You'll know what I'm talking about. If you go, you ask to see their shit, I mean, it's like, it's hardcore. You know, they got plates and shit. I mean, it's not like for, you know, it's not all foam and shit. I mean, they've got real armor. Anyway, that's basically it. I plan on doing a 10 subscriber special today, probably not. But yeah, 10 subscribers, double digits, guys. Good job. Thank you, subscribers. I really do appreciate it. I know that I have just been posting Eagle videos lately, but I promise that will stop. I'll start putting more into it. I just was on my trip. It's basically what I had. And I'm sorry I missed one day. I really am. I guess I'll go one day after New Year's with my year-long project. I guess that's what I'm probably going to do, because I'm going to, what's it called? Sasquatch this Sunday, Monday. So I'm going to be gone those 2 days. I'll see if I can upload there. I think I should be able to. If not, once again, I will apologize. I'm just going to be gone a lot over the summer for the first couple weeks. But yeah. Anyway, subscribe, comment, rate. If you are a LARPer, I'd like to hear your opinion. I know I haven't done it justice. If you know a LARPer and you want to complain about him, or you want to talk about how great it is, please leave a comment. I literally would just like to hear about it. Anyway, that's it. Have a great day. Bye.